Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Black Woman Experience, where today I want to talk about the idea of the magical black girl or woman. And I kind of want to get into this after watching a show that was on Netflix called Queen's Gambit. Now, if you haven't seen this show, it is actually really good, but the only thing that I wasn't really a fan of is the character Jolene. Reason being is because Jolene was not given any real character development. And when I say no character development, I am not hesitating or lying in the slightest. She literally serves to be able to push the main character forward. That's her only purpose. So in the very first season, or not season, but the very first couple of episodes when we actually see her, she's helping the main character by letting her know what pills she needs to take to help stimulate her mind. And by doing that, she helps to give this little girl the edge she needs to be better at chess. Then she comes back later on towards the end of the series, just long enough to help give her the money so she can go to this major big tournament and win that or whatnot so she can be successful in that. She literally only serves as the magic button, if you will, to push the story forward. She is plot device. She doesn't have any character development. We literally don't know anything she did the whole time that the other girl, I can't even remember her name right now, the main character, but the whole time that she was like going through and playing all these games and doing all this stuff, we have no idea what Jolene was doing. No idea if it was significant, if it was harmful, if it was traumatic. She doesn't matter to the story in that way, which is kind of disheartening because the male characters that end up befriending the main character all get a little bit more development than that. And they could have just as easily been forgotten about too. Because, I mean, outside of just being able there to support her, what difference did they make in the story? But even they got to tell their stories. They got to be heard. So it's kind of disheartening that this black character, first of all, was immediately presented to us as the angry black girl. She was the hot-headed one that they couldn't control in the orphanage. She was loud. She was all of these things. She was instantly, that was her character trait before you even saw her face. Okay? And then when you saw her face, it was just to move the plot forward. So that got me to thinking, how many shows, how many movies, how many times in media do we see this trope being played over and over and over again? And I came up with some good shows, like a lot of shows that we kind of grew up with, a lot of movies we grew up with and cared about, such as Clueless, Ghost, the show Suits, Riverdale, Hidden Figures, Sex in the City. I mean, there's hours and hours and hours of content where the black character is just literally there to help move the protagonist forward. And the protagonist is always some extra feminine white woman who needs that stronger push, that stronger woman power because she doesn't technically have it on her own or whatever. And that's what the black character comes in to do. Just think about Clueless for a second. In the movie Clueless, Dion's character is actually introduced first. She's Cher's best friend. They've been friends since even before the movie started. But it's Ty's character, Brittany Murphy, who came in later, who gets the more character development compared to Dion. Dion serves as the comic relief. She serves as the piece that moves the plot forward. She invites them to the party that gets Ty in the place with Elton to help push Cher's narrative that Ty and Elton need to be together. She starts that up. So she's the magical friend that gets everything else going, but she doesn't get any real development herself outside of her and her boyfriend's wacky antics. And it's so frustrating to see because it portrays a narrative for us that doesn't help us in the long run, us being black women. It doesn't help us as black women in the long run. So the question I had to ask myself is, does this even really matter? And does it affect black women or me as a person? Or, what does it really mean in the grand scheme of things? And the truth of the matter is yes, it does matter. And yes, it does affect us as black women. The reason why it matters is because when we're seen as magical or strong or invincible, we're not seen as human. So we're not given the same type of empathy that women of other races and other cultures are given. And that's kind of that's kind of crappy, because we're not allowed to be whatever type of woman we are. There are some women who are strong 100%. They never phase with anything. They can fight through everything. They have that on them. But then there are some women, some black women, who are gentler or weaker or more sensitive, or, you know, need more attention, need more affection. Just like there are some white women who are like that. Just like there are some Asian women who are like that, all over. But because all black women are considered to be strong, a lot of times our feelings aren't put into consideration. And regardless of whether we can do it all ourselves, there's not a consideration on whether we want to do it all ourselves. If every woman, not every black woman wants to be her own soldier. Some women want to be able to lean on a friend, a husband, a boyfriend, a family member. They want to be able to take some of the weight that they carry and give it to someone else and share it, so that they don't have to carry the load alone. Yes, we can do it. We've been doing it. But does that mean we want to do it? Does that mean we have to do it? Can't we be able to release some of that burden from ourselves and give it away, or drop it on the floor? Or if we need to lock ourselves in our rooms and cry for a day or two, can't we be able to do that without being judged of being weak and less than? That's the part that I think is always missing from the message. Even when they show these shows and TV series and everything where you have these amazing, strong black women, they don't get to have any real emotional or depth or versatility. They're just the strong black woman. We put ourselves to the side to be able to take care of the world, to be able to take care of our friends, to be able to stand up for that white girl who made that Black Lives Matter post. Like, we do all of that for everyone else, and we never allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to be weak, to be upset, to be hurt, to be sad, to need to go and get help. You know, black women are least likely to go and seek out therapy, and we're more likely to need it because we wear the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we don't unload. We don't give that to anybody. We don't let it go. We don't let it fall. And so when the anxiety and the depression and all of that kicks in, you know what we're doing? We're fighting through it because we can't seem weak to anybody, and we're not dealing with it. That's how this trope is harmful. That's how the idea of the strong black woman is harmful. I'm not saying that we shouldn't strive to be strong individuals. But strength means so much more than just being able to endure everything that's thrown at you. Strength is knowing that you do need help and going and seeking it. Strength is knowing that it is a bad day and maybe you just need to cry this day out. Strength is knowing your flaws and actively working on them instead of pretending like you don't have them. Strength is so many different things. It's something that helps to develop us all as people when we are faced with obstacles, and we fight our way through them by being honest with ourselves, by being honest with the people that we love, and about unloading when we need to unload to the people that we know really care. That's the issue that I have with tropes like this, or with images or movies that portray black characters as secondary without any real development or story or nuances. They put us all in a box, and this is who we are supposed to be. All black people act like this. They all like this. They all wear this. They all dress and talk like this. But it doesn't give us the opportunity to be an individual first. I am black secondary. Like, my skin color is secondary to my actual personality. My personality comes from a wide range of experiences that I've had in my lifetime. There's so many things that contribute to who I am. And me being black is on the end of that list. Don't get me wrong, I celebrate my color. I celebrate my skin. And I love being an African American woman, a black woman. I believe it's the most beautiful thing I could ever have in my life. But that is not all I am. At the end of the day, that's the last part of who I am, because who I actually am comes from everything else that I've learned about being alive. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much more than just saying, okay, I'm a black woman, so that means this, this, and this. It's like I'm Catherine. But Catherine is so much more than just Catherine the black woman. Catherine is so many things. She's goofy, she's flaky, she's ridiculous at times, she's random, she's all of these things. She's loud, she's quiet, she's lazy, but she's always working. I have so many different aspects to my personality. But as long as I've been alive, the first thing people see is my skin color. And that's what these stereotypes help to perpetuate. They help to put us in another box where we're all just this one thing, but we're not given the opportunity to be this wide variety of individual. We're all individuals. We have different experiences that result in different actions. And not all of us are going to be strong. Not all of us are going to be magical and just pop up whenever we're needed and then disappear whenever we're not. So many of us are going to be amazing beyond all measure. And some of us are going to be low lives. That's the honest to God truth. Not everybody is great. Some people are horrible. And unfortunately, that has no skin color or no race indentation. Some people are horrible and some people are great. But they should be given the opportunity to be those things individually and not grouped together as one major character of who we are, one representation of who we are. So what can we do going forward to kind of help with this stereotype? Well, one thing I want to say is that we have to stop portraying ourselves as strong Black women only. We have to start betraying ourselves as everything that we are. If that's weak on some days, if that's sad on some days, if that's emotional, we can't be afraid to be emotional or withdrawn or introverted or need help. We can't do that because it's only further serving the purpose of making us inhuman and invincible. Making it seem like we don't need the things that we do need. We do need love. We do need appreciation. We do need to be held from time to time. We need compassion. If we keep trying to pretend like all we have or all we need is this strength that we got, like we're just strong and that's it, we're gonna lose every single time. And I think it's time that we start to realize that, and we need our men to realize that. We need you guys to see us as more than just the strong Black woman. I want to be seen as flawed because I am a flawed human being. I don't only want to be seen as flawed because my strength kept me through all of my flaws and pushed me forward to my next step. But the fact that I have flaws make me human, make me a person. I'm not trying to pretend like I don't cry sometimes. I'm not trying to pretend like I don't trip and fall or run into things or say stupid things or the wrong thing at half of the time I talk. I'm not trying to pretend like that's not me, because that is me. My strength comes from knowing that I am this way and working to address it so I can better deal with it, so I can better equip myself and make myself a better person. But strength does not come from pretending like I don't have any issues at all. And it definitely doesn't come from pretending like I'm magical and that I can solve everybody's problems, because I can't. I can't even solve my own sometimes. So I really think it's important that we stop feeding into the strong Black, magical Black, invincible Black woman idea and just be people, just be individuals, just be whatever we are in that moment and put it out there. So if the world doesn't like it, that's perfectly fine, but that is me through and through. That's where I think we need to be so that we can get a handle on how we are perceived as individuals and as women. That is all I wanted to talk about today. This is something that has been weighing on me for a little while because I actually saw that show like a while ago, but I really wanted to understand what it meant to be that magical, strong Black secondary character that does not get developed or get their story told. And I wanted to expand on that. Please make sure you share this video if you can. Please leave me a comment, whatever you want to talk about going forward, leave me a comment about that. And make sure that you come back for all my other videos, for my Saturday movie nights, and for my continuation of the Black Woman Experience series. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.